are live.
5. Thanks.
I thought he
Hour and a half.
looked at the agenda, there might be another hour.
Oh, but even, I think he meets, I think they meet on Thursday nights, and they have to get back to,
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Yeah, good afternoon. I would like to call the Finance and Budget Committee to order and ask for approval of the minutes from October 2nd, I believe. Moved by Supervisor Casito, seconded by Supervisor Stroud. Any changes, additions, corrections? I'll call the question on the minutes. All in favor?
I,
Aye. Opposed? Carried. Okay, next item is privilege of the floor. Anybody from the public or the committee?
I'm not put us.
Okay, the action item. The first item is there's a transfer of funds as attached for committee approval. I think it looks like Office of Emergency Services. DPW. Social Services. I think that's it. Moved by Supervisor Stroud. Seconded by Supervisor Mayday. Any questions on the transfer requested? All in favor of item 1? Say aye.
I,
Opposed? Item 2, and these are requests from the county administrator, Mr. Taflin.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The item 2A is the journal report of transfers. A lot of these are just final end of year adjustments we're doing between some of the codes, and it's mostly DPW and DSS. I didn't see anything that jumped out that needed further explanation. Technical equipment going into contracts, but DPW is moving a lot of money to cover their contracts for the rest of the year. So, didn't know if anyone had any questions. Okay. Item 2B is a request to amend the current contract with National Business Equipment to add a device for the Workforce Development Office. And it's a printer we're picking up to put on our National Business Equipment contract.
Someone care to introduce that? Supervisor Merlino, seconded by Supervisor Driscoll. Any questions? Okay, all in favor?
I,
Opposed?
Okay, thank you. Item 2C is a request to fund a new service. We've had a number of let's just say issues within organizations that I believe that there's a thing called alternate dispute resolution, where it's a mediated session between employees or between groups of employees to try to resolve inter-workplace conflicts. And it's usually very successful. I've used this in the past. I have a lot of faith in these people, and I'd like to offer this service probably to our departments to see if it's utilized. I'm asking for $6,000 for the remainder of the year. It was
It's 9 for next.
9 for next year. Okay, 9,000 for next year. To put it in the budget, we'd offer it similar to the way we offer employee assistance service. We could have either a supervisor and an employee who are having a dispute can use the service. Other employees in a department who are having inner conflicts in the department. And we've seen about 3 or 4 issues recently that have kind of brought us to the thought that this might be a good solution.
Yes.
I'll move that and just comment. I've worked with this organization for a number of years, and I've found that it balances out the manpower that you're saving within having someone else essentially doing the same thing.
Introduced
Sounds
by
so.
Supervisor Driscoll, seconded by Supervisor Stroud. Further discussion? Yes.
The 9,000 is that unlimited use of the service, or is there a,
Based on what we've told them, they've said that $9,000 would be appropriate for a contract for next year.
okay,
They have several things that they offer.
Yep.
And there's a rate for each of the different things. It would be a not to.
not too, okay.
Any other discussion? All right, I'll call the question on item 2C. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank
Anything
you,
else?
Mr. Chair. That's it.
Number 3 is referrals from the County Facilities Committee and Buildings and Grounds. And this is a request for the transfer of funds in the amount of $35,000 from budget code A1990 contingent account to budget code A1624 Health and Human Services Building for electricity to cover the cost of unanticipated utility rate increases for the rest of the year. Introduced by Supervisor Molino, seconded by Supervisor Mayday. Any questions? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Item 4 is a referral from the Criminal Justice, Public Safety and Emergency Services Committee. And this is the Public Defender's Office. And it's to amend the county budget in the amount of $3,560 to reflect receipt of New York State Office of Indigent Legal Services Distribution number 14, grant funding to cover hospitalization and dental insurance fringe benefits for the remainder of 2025. Introduced by Supervisor Stroud, seconded by Supervisor Cressida. Questions? Call the question on number 4. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Number 5 is 5A. It's referral from the Economic Growth and Development Committee, Planning and Community Development. Actually, we can probably do A and B together. I think they're both capital projects. A is H449. And it's the Lake Champlain Basin Program septic replacement in the amount of $111,000. And B is H450. And it's the Freight House restoration in the amount of $308,441.
C covers the same thing as the Freight House restoration, only a transfer.
Yep, that's the local share. C is to appropriate $77,111, and that's from the A899 Reserve County Railroad repairs to the transfers code, and then to capital projects. And this is to cover the local share cost associated with establishing capital project H450 Freight House.
So I'd like to move the approval of 5A, B, and C.
Introduced by Supervisor Stroud, seconded by Supervisor Molino. Any questions on those 3 items? Okay, I'll call the question on 5A, B, and C. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Excuse me. Last one for 5D is the Workforce Development Office. And this is a request to amend the 2025 Warren County budget in the amount of $620,154.30. And this is for receipt of federal Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act funding for the program year 2025, which is July 1st, 2025 through June 30th, 2026. Introduced by Supervisor Merlino. Seconded by Supervisor Mayday. Any questions on that item? Yes.
Thanks, Mr. Chair. I just want to highlight that this is, their funding goes, it's a July to June, fiscal year for WIOA funding. And there have been rumblings that there's a good chance, or not say a good chance, there is a chance that as a new funding agreement is reached in the federal government, that it could involve take back of these funds. We're watching that closely. If it looks like right now, it doesn't appear we need to make any move to tell our legislators we're any more concerned about this than just telling them, nothing formal in a form of a letter to anyone, but it's something we'll have to keep our eyes on to hopefully the money will not be pulled back by the federal government. Thanks.
Okay. Any other discussion or questions?
Tell them you need to.
Okay, call the question on 5D. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Number 6 is a referral from the Human Services Committee, and this is the Department of Social Services. And it's to amend the 2025 Warren County budget in the amount of $135,378. And this is for receipt of grant funding from the, I'm not sure what that is.
OTDA.
To cover the cost of the contract with the Open Door Mission from October 1st, 2025 through the remainder of the year.
This is primarily for Code Blue services.
Okay. Introduced by Supervisor Merlino, seconded by Supervisor Mayday. Any questions on that item? I'll call the question on item 6. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Number 7 is a referral from the Park Operations and Management Committee, and it's a request to appropriate $2,732.29 from budget code A691.07 deferred revenue for the Gaslight Village parking fees. And this is to the A1625 Charles R. Wood Park repair and maintenance of buildings and property, and to authorize the reimbursement in the same amount to the Village of Lake George for work at the Charles R. Wood Park for August. Introduced by Supervisor Molino, seconded by Supervisor Crescito. Any questions on that item? Call the question on number 7. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Number 8. Let's see, we have referrals from the Public Works Committee, Department of Public Works. Let's see. Well, A is a requested decrease capital project number H390, County Bridge and Culvert Projects in the amount of $7,000. B is a request to amend the 2025 Warren County budget in the amount of $7,000 to increase to the transfer code D9950. And let's see, in accordance with the transfer of surplus local match funds from the capital project H390, the one in A, and C is a request to amend the capital project H409 Warren County Culvert Assessment Management Plan to decrease the in-kind services by $7,000 and also go to the transfer for capital projects by the same to fund local grant match. I think they're all together.
Yeah, I think we should do them together.
I'll move 8, A, B, and C.
Okay, introduced by Supervisor Stroud, seconded by Supervisor Merlino. Any questions on those items? Yeah, call the question on 8A, B, and C. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Number 9 is a request for an item to be discussed by the county treasurer.
I'm just gonna sit at the table today. We're getting back into getting you, the monthly budgeted reports. There really wasn't anything of significance this month, but we wanted to make sure we got the general fund balance in front of you. So I'll just ask if you have any questions regarding that. Any questions? So it looks like we have 1.1 million left in the minimum and over our minimum fund balance. And then the second one, before I move on to the second one, we are continuing to refine this report to get it as concise as possible, but as impactful as possible. And again, we're trying to give you more qualitative comments that go with the quantitative comments, so you know why it's important. You need to kind of understand what's going on there. So if you have any requests, please don't hesitate to reach out and let us know. We've had some requests on the OCTAX receipts schedule. Some people want a little less, some people want a little more, so we're giving you both. Okay, just let us know. And then the request in front of you for $8,000, the $35,000 that we put for the prior deputy treasurer per diem basically created a shortfall in the part-time line item. So we're just simply requesting that we move 8,000 from the regular salaries to the part-time salaries.
Someone care, introduced by Supervisor Molino, seconded by Supervisor Mayday. Call the question on item 9B. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Anything else?
Thank you.
Yes.
Number 10 is Finance Committee action is required on the following personnel agenda items. I believe they were all approved by the Personnel Committee, 3B, 4, 5, 6, and D. 3B is a request from the Director of Information Technology, and it's a request to appropriate $20,000 from 895, the Computer Reserve Fund, to the Sheriff's budget, purchase computers and related equipment and software. Introduced by Supervisor Strauss, seconded by Supervisor Mayday. Any questions on 10.3B? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? 10.4 is a request from the clerk of the board. And this is for a transfer of funds in the amount of $50,000 from the contingent account, A 1990, to the budget code 1185, medical examiners and coroners, medical fees. And this is to cover the cost of autopsies for the remainder of the year. Hopefully. Introduced by Supervisor Mayday. By Supervisor, Yeah, she asked for 80. I said she could have 50. Call the question on 10.4. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. 10.5 is a referral from the Criminal Justice, Public Safety and Emergency Services Committee. And this is the Probation Department. It's a request to amend the table of organization and salary schedule to create the new position of probation officer trainee number 4, grade 16, base annual salary of $52,270. And unfund but retain the position of probation officer number 14, effective November 24th, 2025. Introduced by Supervisor Mayday, seconded by Supervisor Driscoll. Any questions on 10.5? Okay, I'll call the question. All in favor? 10.6 is referral from the Legislative Rules and Governmental Operations Committee. And this is the county clerk's office, and it's a request to amend the table of organization and salary schedule to fund the position of legal recording clerk, grade 7. The base annual salary of $45,751, and unfund but retain the position of principal legal recording clerk, grade 15. And that's a base annual salary of 67,589. Also effective November 24th. Introduced by Supervisor Mayday, seconded by Supervisor Stroud. Any questions? I'll call the question on 10-6. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And 10-8. And this is from the Accounting Attorney's Office. And it's a request for appropriation of funds in the amount of $250,000 to cover the final payment in the structured settlement in the matter of John David Smith versus Warren County to budget code A6010 419 social services settlements and to determine the source of funding for the same. Introduced by Supervisor Merlino, seconded by Supervisor Mayday.
Second question, where is it gonna be funded from?
I believe it's coming out of the A918, assigned sexual abuse and lawsuits. Am I correct?
I'll validate, but I think so.
There's 900,000.
900,000, yeah, that's what I thought.
There is not 900,000 in there right now. There should be about 400,000 in there.
Well, that's what it's, I just, that was reflected there, so there, it's possible.
And I only put that question there because when we funded that account initially, there was a belief or perception that due to a change in our insurance coverage, that fund would be available for future claims that come in, not past claims. But for the past 2 years, that fund has been used to fund the past 2 payments of $250,000. And specifically, right now, the only coverage Warren County has for future claims, meaning claims that happened in 2024, 2025, or may happen in 2026, is a flat $1 million. Because when New York State enacted the Child Victims Act and opened up the statute of limitations to allow anybody to sue for past instances of sex abuse, insurance companies stopped fully covering those claims on a go-forward basis. So any claims that the county receives going forward, our coverage is limited to $1 million, which means there is, where before we had coverage up to $11 million, like we do for most of our other types of liabilities and claims, carrier, and some carriers don't cover it at all. Travelers is covering up to $1 million. I just want the committee to be aware that 900,000 isn't 900,000 anymore. It will be down to 150 if it's tapped, 150,000. And I'm just providing that for informational purposes.
Right.
As I understand, there probably is not another source currently to fund that 250,000.
Any questions? Okay, I'll call the question on item 10. Item 10, anyways, personnel committee. 10-8D. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So that leaves 150,000 in there?
I believe so.
Privilege of the floor and public comment. Yes.
Thank you, Chairman. I'd like to publicly thank everyone, and I say everyone because I don't want to forget a name, who's been working on covering the status of the federal shutdown and its impact on particular programs, specifically the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, SNAP, the HEAP Home Energy Assistance Program, and other federal programs. Between 10 and 12% of our county residents benefit from SNAP benefits, and the number is a little bit higher, I think, for HEAP. Those are children, they're seniors, they're everyone in between. Plus, the shutdown is impacting a lot of families who are just over income for these particular programs, who are on really shoestring budgets as far as putting food on the table and being able to pay for basic human needs. Don Lehman put out a release earlier this morning, and that's going out to all of us, but especially to all of media. I know that Nina Mastriani over at Social Services has been on top of this issue, working with John and really everyone. It's an important issue. It's not a political issue. It's a human issue. And I think we've really hit a home run as far as getting that information out to the public, having empathy and professionalism as far as addressing that. So I thank everyone for their part. We're not out of the woods, certainly, but I think that at least information helps calm the confusion, the aggravation, the people being angry about the situation. The message to the folks down in Washington, D.C. is be adults and get this resolved in a timely and efficient manner. Thanks.
No problem.
Thanks, Mr. Chair. Since I can elaborate on that a little bit because there have been a lot of things at work and at play. The governor has added she initially announced $30 million. She's added $65 million to assist with this. So just so you know, Warren County has about 6,700 people who receive SNAP benefits each month. That's about 4,000 households. About a quarter of them are 18 and below, and about a quarter of them are seniors who probably cannot work. And so for a state to fund the SNAP program that's funded by the federal government, it'll be about $650 million a month for the state of New York. And no state is equipped to do that kind of, to meet that kind of need. So we have received word that through ODTA, that we can enhance our Meals on Wheels program to provide meals through that program, our home delivered meals. We have food banks, food pantries that we're asking corporate organizations in the area to sponsor, and we'll probably find one as Warren County, and we'll sponsor one of the food banks, and as well as I received a call for an email from Fort William Henry saying, how can they help restaurants? How can they help with this too? So I think we'll be talking to them probably today and tomorrow as well. So a lot of things coming together, but it doesn't look like there's going to be any solution. No one predicts anything for November, so we're going to have to get through November. On top of this, we have roughly 8,000 people who get heating assistance, and those payments will not happen either, and it's starting to get colder. So we'll have to work our way through that as well. Thanks. I was out of the line of finance, but we were talking about that stuff.
Okay. Anyone else? This is the budget committee, and I did sign the budget here about an hour and a half ago. So budget I'm putting forth, I won't go into a lot of detail because I'll be telling you about it next Friday. Increases the county tax rate by about 3 cents per thousand. But that you know, with your equalization rate. It's kind of all over the place. It's you know, it's a little over $6 million more in money, so it's, but I think the county needs to raise the money, or they're just gonna dig a hole, their hole. Pay increases and everything. Great thing to do. Any questions? Like,
Good job with it.
Good job, Frank.
go ahead. Had lots of help.
More than you wanted, I think.
Alrighty, if there's nothing else, motion to adjourn. Moved by Supervisor Strauss, seconded by Supervisor Molino.